Эти условия очень простые. Украинские войска должны быть полностью выведены из Донецкой, Луганской народных республик, Херсонской и Запорожской областей. Причем, обращаю внимание, именно со всей территории этих регионов в пределах их административных границ, которые существовали на момент их вхождения в Украину. Как только в Киеве заявят о том, что готовы к такому решению и начнут реальный вывод войск из этих регионов, а также официально уведомят об отказе от планов вступления в НАТО, с нашей стороны незамедлительно, буквально в ту же минуту, последует приказ прекратить огонь.
Dear friends, welcome to another episode of Geopolitical and Military News. In this video, we will discuss the peace proposal presented by Vladimir Putin to put an end to the invasion of Ukraine. This Friday, June 14th, Vladimir Putin established the terms for a ceasefire in Ukraine, demanding, among other things, that Ukrainian troops withdraw from the regions that Russia claims to have annexed. This proposal was quickly rejected by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who compared it to a World War II-style ultimatum. In his statement, Putin said that for a ceasefire to be implemented, Ukraine must withdraw its troops from 4 regions: Donetsk, Lugansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia. Additionally, he stated that Ukraine would need to abandon its aspirations to join NATO and the European Union. In a speech to Russian ambassadors in Moscow, Putin emphasized that as soon as Kiev shows willingness to accept these conditions, a ceasefire and the start of negotiations will commence immediately. Ukraine's response was firm and negative. Mikhailo Podolyak, a Ukrainian presidential advisor, called the proposal a complete farce and an offense to common sense. Zelensky, in an interview with Italian television Sky TG24, compared Putin's demands to those of Germany in Czechoslovakia in 1938, referring to when the German dictator demanded part of Czechoslovakia with the promise that war would not start. The international community also reacted critically. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin stated that Putin is not in a position to dictate terms to Ukraine because Russia illegally occupied sovereign Ukrainian territories. Jens Stoltenberg, NATO Secretary General, considered Putin's proposals not made in good faith. Analysts like Tatiana Stanovaya see Putin's demands as maximalist and without concessions, suggesting they were made to undermine the peace conference that is about to begin. This conference will bring together leaders from 90 countries in Switzerland to discuss pathways to peace in Ukraine, with a notable absence of Russia. Zelensky will participate in the event, seeking to strengthen international support for Ukraine. The summit in Switzerland, which will be held near Lake Lucerne, aims to provide a forum for world leaders to discuss a path to a just and lasting peace in Ukraine, based on international law and the founding charter of the United Nations. Among the participants will be Kamala Harris, Vice President of the United States, Emmanuel Macron, President of France, Olaf Scholz, Chancellor of Germany, Giorgia Meloni, Prime Minister of Italy, and Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission. Switzerland, the host of the event, made it clear that Russia was not invited, and China, in turn, decided not to attend. In Russia's absence, Brazilian President Lula da Silva stated that since Putin would not be present, he would also not participate. Recently, G7 leaders agreed to use the interest from frozen Russian assets to help Ukraine. Approximately $300 billion in Russian assets have been frozen since the invasion in February 2022, generating about $3 billion in annual interest. This amount will be used to pay the annual interest on a $50 billion loan for Ukraine, which is expected to be available by the end of the year. Additionally, during the G7 summit, the United States and Ukraine signed a 10-year bilateral security agreement, considered historic by Kiev and Washington. Putin's demands for a ceasefire in Ukraine were met with skepticism and rejection by both Ukraine and the international community. The Peace Summit in Switzerland represents an attempt to consolidate global support for a peaceful and lasting solution to the conflict, even with the absence of Russia and its closest allies, such as China. The situation remains tense, with negotiations and firm declarations from both sides, while the world watches in search of a path to peace. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to help the channel grow. Until next time,